Oh, damn. I can't believe I will find something will pop up and I'm like, oh, this is such goddamn garbage. Okay, so now there's the water cycle of the ground, the water cycle of the world. And so if you read what they say, a bunch of people could have something happen to them. A bunch of people might have something happen to them. There's a bunch of people who are threatened by something. So this isn't, we know about this or theorized about this phenomena. We then tested our theory by seeing what places we thought were going to be struck by, the water cycle crisis. And then it happened. So our theory so far is panning out. You see, this is just like how right now dark matter is starting to vanish. That now the theories that excluded dark matter, which there's been people theorizing dark matter, because dark matter is just a hole in the math. I'm not even kidding. It's actually kind of ironic that the term is dark matter. But now the theorists that say dark matter is probably unlikely, they're now getting listened to. So just like that, one of the key things about climate science is the tremendous amount of fundamental information in the field, that to make an informed decision, you would have to know that we just don't know. We just don't know certain mechanisms. One of the key mechanisms, we can't guess what the wind is going to do. We don't have anything that can calculate this. So one of the things also we don't have is, how do you account for volcanic eruptions? So the volcanic eruptions in Tonga, now more and more people are catching on to this. I love how the internet, one of the key things about the right wing, what's really making people so upset about X, is that it allows for people, when they have good information that's contrarian, that's solid stuff, it actually is very, very upsetting to kind of the establishment thinking in any field, that there's people who can cite, well, what about this? Like, could you explain this, that, or the other? People who can explain this, that, or the other can. We keep finding that the left can't. The left really cannot point out, no, it's not that this significant issue makes us wrong. What really the issue is, let's talk about what this is really about. It's always a dodge. It's 90% of the time a dodge. They have to resort to dodging. The right sometimes is kind of like, okay, the way you're even putting this question together, it's just full of malign, and you're kind of full of shit, so I'm not going to even broach it the way you're putting it. You as the moral better want to ask it in this way, but with the left and the climate thing, they won't take into account something like volcanic eruption. So what this is you're seeing CNN putting out this piece. Oh, there's the water system. Now, why are they really doing this? Because now there's parts of the world that are starting to get rain again. Specifically, the Ummah of North Africa. This is going to lead to a massive change in the Sahel, North Africa, the Sahara region, and very likely into a bit of the ways into the Middle East, down the Arabian Peninsula, and so aridity cycles are changing because no enviroclimatology science people really knew that was ever going to happen. This actually is a thing that comes out of a realm of theory. And this is the real big problem. The Green Sahara theory is a thing that cites writings of history that are old writings of history. They're from an older school. For what it is that teachers who don't like people reading books, as I mentioned in the former video, and this is very serious, they don't. Teachers really, they want you to, teachers have failed, fundamentally. For easily a generation since the 70s, the teachers are an industry of failure overall. And so but what the big deal is that they don't like these old books of history, these old accounts of history, and the more that the world is growing warmer all the time because men are barbecuing and driving pickup trucks, and that it's always that they always must cite those people. They never cite the average blue enclave and how much in the blue enclaves just they're polluters and they drive everywhere, and how these are obviously the kind of educated, wealthy people is typically with the blue enclaves. They're always trying to attract educated, wealthy people who don't produce goods. So it's just, after a while, it's very frustrating that it's like, you guys are really not very productive, yet you're always complaining about what other people are doing. Anyway, so it was, so and that's, yeah, okay, let me just, so because of this need, because in taking all of these ancient historians and saying, oh, this, they were just wrong. They were just simply making it up. They were wrong. It was kooky, or just ignoring them. Because then there's an entire school of Western thinking and developed civilized thinking that they'll cite parts of these ancient histories and then also what is found. The new school of thinking is only what's within very closely living memory. Everything else, this is just silliness. There's a bunch of white guys who didn't know things. They're probably, like meditating on their Roman candles. That's that kind of disparaging talk. Well, so now the green Sahel, green Sahara reality that's happening proves a lot of people don't know what they're fucking talking about. And so they have to now, there's a crisis of the water cycle. So what are they going to do? They're going to point to the area that goes arid. Some place is bound to be arid somewhere on the fucking planet. So it's this, there's, the places that are going to go green, then there's the places that are going to go arid. So what they're going to do is concentrate constantly on aridity, and then places that also simply are just, the environmentalists don't allow you to deal with water effectively. Like California deals with water extremely ineffectively. Like nobody really wants, so this is, they're going to be like the water cycle, California, and it's like that Newsom said the words, because it's not going to rain anymore, ... So he didn't build reservoirs. He had all this money, and he didn't build enough reservoir storage. So it won't matter anything, because at some point what you actually have to do is have some form of storage, which they even agree upon in this article that I was just reading. They're like, it gets stored in lakes and blah blah. It gets stored in the land. Now, and again, another issue that they're having, there's arid parts of California that are now starting to show greening again. There's like a lake east of Los Angeles, if I remember correctly, that used to be like, that like you could still, for up until very recently, you would still find pieces of dock and boat just in the sand, because of it just one day, it finally just ran out of water, and so people aren't getting these cycles of aridity are things that come and go, and we don't really understand these. Now, that's the big problem that quote-unquote scientists really have, because they don't really understand how the rules of this stuff works, they're really kind of screwed, because they demanded all this money, they've done all this research, and then suddenly one event happens, and remember, you're not hearing about the eruption of the volcano in Tonga. You're not hearing about how its cooling effect on the Atlantic Ocean is what's made so few hurricanes happen. So I only a handful of days ago, I had forgotten we were supposed to have supposedly 30 hurricanes this year. We had 2. They were just extremely powerful. So and now who would have even thought that could have been a possibility? That rather than having this large number of hurricanes, which, I mean, because how would you know this? We don't understand how the mechanism of it works. Like like the way a motor works, and we know its tolerances and what it's made of. The problem is in a way, we kind of don't know what wind is made of. We don't know wind's tolerances. So, this volcano erupts, everybody's models were out the fucking window. Everybody's. These guys were all arguing all over X with each other, and it was like, well, now we won't know what'll happen, and we didn't before. Our models are garbage, it's more, your models are garbage. And so we won't know what's going to happen. No, none of these people called this the greening of the Sahara. None of them called that. You had to be looking for stories having to do with people, for some reason, fighting off lots of bugs. You're like, why are you having this problem with locusts? That's super weird. And then you start thinking it through, going, wait a second, why would you have locusts if you're in a desert? Where are locusts coming from? Well, it was because nobody wanted to tell anybody, this area that used to be desert for most of our living memories now has so much food in it, locusts are attacking every year. So unless you're looking for that story and that angle on it, you wouldn't know to really kind of look for this idea that, their climate models are fucking crap. So now they really have a problem. So they have to posit. So here's the quintupling down. This is the beauty of this one. This is a perfect example. It just hit me of quintupling down. Rather than saying, because our models were thrown off by volcanic eruptions in Tonga, and we're not very good at this climate change thing. We're just not. We don't know what we're talking about. Our math is bad. We keep telling people to be afraid for events that don't happen. We keep underestimating the effects of this, that, or the other, and the language that we use is fundamentally very much just shocking language of typists. Well, they could do that. We didn't know that this eruption was going to cool the Atlantic. No. It's water crisis, climate, everybody shit your thongs. And so they're kind of done. They know a lot of these people, I think, also understand what's happening, and it's in the nature of what they're writing. They're quintupling down because they've got to get wackos to force everybody to give them money. No, wackos, unite. Make them give us money. Wackos, unite. Make them give us money. And that's in my view what a big part of what we're seeing is. We can get the wackos motivated now to be horribly afraid of physics that they don't really understand and logic that they can't really logic through. And then their lack of any memory of, we've been calling for, sea rises and ice melts that simply are not happening because we don't understand there isn't a repetition of that. This is also the problem of that. people not getting the concept of evolution, like what actually did Darwin propose? No, species breed so as to adapt to they breed the finest breed, and slowly the species adapts because the finest qualities are what will become clustered, the most adaptive, the most efficient and adaptive to the environment. That's the idea. Not at some point people will realize that time just repeats itself, and humans repeat their mistakes, and it's this mentally unstable bad poetry that you see of the left and of the progressives and of the malcontents in society, and people who they really don't punk rock. They really, because if they were to punk rock, they would know the song Ice World. They would know the works of Dead Kennedys, but that's the whole issue. Is these supposedly iconoclastic youth, they don't know the works of the iconoclasts of a past generation, so they don't really understand, no, a lot of what you're mad about, your dad used to listen to a song about what you're mad about, only to come to terms with the fact he was wrong about it. You need to kind of get it together, kiddo, and oh my God, what is this look that you're wearing, kind of thing. But the climatology climate master certified environmental geniuses, in missing this kind of thing and then quadrupling and quintupling down, where now what we need to do is we need to be even more afraid because there's not going to be any water. Well, what this posits is really that there's major corporations that there's a group of companies that are extremely wealthy, like the most wealthy of the wealthy, that they're actually now again trying to seize aquifers. This is obviously if I were Cobra Commander and this article came out, that's why I'd want the article to come out, so that you will give my friend here, Destro, Destro's in disguise. He's got a different outfit on. He looks like a scientist. He puts on a lab coat. Destro puts on a lab coat. I am Dr. Destro. If you just give me access to your aquifer, I will make sure everybody has water forever. Yeah, they'll get a cup of water a day. They'll be able to shower for 5 minutes. They'll have showers that run off of coins. I swear to God, people underestimate, how bad, liberal badness is and is going to get. As this has been tried before. This was tried, if I remember, by a billionaire tycoon in the 1970s named Maurice Strong. There we go, Maurice Strong. And he was this Canadian tycoon that wanted to take control of an aquifer that's like the largest aquifer between Canada and the United States in North America. And of course, he's positing this idea is that everybody will have water then, because, he'll properly manage it. And people fought him off, and stuff. But it was one of these things of no, they're just setting this up again. And they're setting it up now we just put it in the hands of a person who won a popularity contest. Or, even worse, we put all of the power over water, like now we do with war. We're going to put all of the power over water into the hands of somebody not even elected, but that a person who won a popularity contest then said, hey, this person deserves this job. Give them all your water. When you need water, you got to talk to this fucker. So that's probably what the plan here is, behind this kind of why you would even write an article like this. And the reason why is because CNN, so it's the CIA's front, the CIA news network, and that because the Democrats are totally they've been totally entrapped by the CIA in their evil plots against humanity. That now it's it's okay. All liberal issues are to point out how all the yahoos can't understand this amazing science of scare words and random numbers and random citations. Not, really understand, not having both sides of the argument presented, or even that while this is happening, you do have this happening. So it's not all hope is lost. No, these are hope is lost, we won't have water. Because men like trucks and barbecue. And it's not anything really that much more complicated. Like I like how now people like Destiny and stuff, they try to pull shit like this, thinking that like they're breaking it down to the essence, and it's like no, you're a liberal. You can't break it down to the essence. That's almost against even the tradition of how you guys argue things. But anyway, so this was just something I was seeing, and now I'm going to look for this as a language trend on the internet. And I got to make sure it was, from what I understand, the terminology that they're using is the water cycle breaking down is how they put it. And so yeah, we'll watch this over the next handful of years is what to get the wackos and dummies to riot, and rather than have proper water management, and actually, yeah, that's my theory right now. All right, talk to you guys later.